4. Welcome to the second part of the K-Drama BL's episode on the anatomy of BL. I am Dubs, aka Dandelion. Peanut, which just helps, is not here with me to introduce this episode because, like I said, we kind of underestimated just how many opinions we're gonna have on these K-Drama BLs, so I'm here to sort of introduce it. We're gonna just be picking up right where we left off in the last episode, so I hope you enjoy, and I hope you stick around some more. And next we have Blueming.
Blueming synopsis. Since childhood, Cha Siwon has realized that only people with good looks will grow to be popular, and he has made it his personal goal to achieve popularity by maintaining a strict personal regime
or regiment, or
it's regime. There's no, I wanted to say regiment, but it's just regime, and adopting a pleasant personality. As he starts his first year in college, Cha Siwon is confident that he would be one of the most popular people on campus. That is until he meets a guy named Dao, who appears to have perfect looks, gets straight A's, comes from a rich family, and even has a great personality. Cha Siwon's confidence in himself is shaken as he finds himself crossing paths with Dao time and time again, and college life no longer appears to be as easy as it seems. We're talking self-identity, insecurity. That's the theme of this drama.
Done fucking well.
Because
the thing is, when I watched this initially, I was kind of worried that they were going to try to bring up this whole self-identity, self-worth thing, right? But like fail or fall flat in the sense that they don't necessarily confront that the problem isn't you, the problem is the society that you
society,
right? Yeah. So, and that was my main concern when it came to it, because I was worried that they were gonna make it a thing where it's like, it's the world we live in, live with it. I was really worried. I'm not even gonna lie, I was really, really worried. But the way, also, because the way that they did it, right? It's like, this dude, like we said, very, very perfect, knows how to present himself as perfect, knows how to people please, and he's just whatever, right? We see that his insecurity mainly does come from his mother, right? It's kind of introduced from the jump. You see it at home, right?
Talking about weight,
exactly,
that's gonna be fat.
Exactly. You need to for your breakfast, have your protein shake. That type of situation, right? We see from the jump, it comes from home. We still don't at this point understand why the mom is like this, right? It gets explained as we go along, but it's a situation where it's like, okay, he also, I'm gonna just skip a bit, but also he comes from a place where in middle school, I think, he used to be fat, and he used to be really needed.
I mean, his family wasn't the typical perfect family with mom and dad. The dad left, so he got bullied for being fat, ugly, and that he's from a broken home.
So he was determined to make sure that I'm going to play basically the society's game.
Yeah.
And just do what I need to do to be perfect, essentially, which means being the ideal type of man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the beauty standard, and I'm gonna keep it hidden from most people where I know in my family situation.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be pleasant. I'm gonna be everything society wants me to be, and I'll be happy. And that's how, they said, he came into college with that. Even when he got there, he was praised for his good looks. Then he volunteered to be president. People just genuinely liked him, and he was like, "No, I'm killing it this year."
Yeah.
And then until he meets who he perceived to be his rival, but because he's also the exact person that he's trying to be, and that's just who he is. Because he knows that I have to work so hard to be what he is. Dawn is just naturally handsome.
He's naturally handsome. Very fucking rich, born into a rich
family. Everyone likes him.
Everybody likes him.
He is exactly what he wants to be, but he knows that, okay, down is just down. I have to fucking work out all the time, eat a certain way, hide my family dynamic. I have to put on my personality, and I literally have to put on my personality every single day to be what down is. So now when I'm meeting him and he is that, I'm just jealous.
It pressures into my insecurity, and so I hate it.
To be fair, he tried to be friendly in the beginning, but because Dawn expresses himself in in a unique way.
It's not just the fact that he expresses himself in a unique way. It's one of those things where it's like, there's a lot of things you kind of misread, right?
Yeah, but Down wasn't, like, he did misread.
Yeah.
But Down, the way Siwon. Because from when they first met and whatnot, like, it was a misunderstanding. But Down is, and like, it's like, the things he says,
Down,
I see what he's saying.
Like, Down, okay,
he's just speaking.
I understand what you mean. Yeah,
because he even said, he was like, no, the reason I was the way I was with you is because I thought we understand each other. I was looking at you, I was like, oh, you're another handsome guy or whatever. I don't have to act so. I thought we understood each other.
He didn't think that we were rivals.
Yes,
he wasn't operating from a place of being rivals.
On the same level.
Yeah.
Finally, someone who's on the same level as me is what he was thinking. So he just treated him that way. But Siwon was like, it's just down on.
Like, this bitch is underestimating me.
What does he mean?
Exactly.
And the thing is, Down as well. Down, I think, was instantly attracted to Siwon. And he knew.
He was.
It wasn't until I think he was attracted to him.
He was like, nah, you handsome. I fucking want you.
And then, oh my god, his eyes.
Yeah. You don't even. Because the thing is about Dawn, right? His whole thing is that the reason why it comes across as if he's undermining him, is because of the fact that Dawn himself is trying to seem capable in front of Siwon.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So it's one of those things where it's like, Dawn
kind of impress you.
Dawn typically is not trying to impress other people, right?
Yeah.
So he's typically not trying to like one up people or trying to like seem as if he's impressive.
Yeah.
But in front of Siwon, he finds need to do something. Exactly. It's not even trying to like one up him. It's like, okay, let me take this burden off of you and handle it myself. But he's like, I'm fucking capable. Why are you looking down on me?
Why are you helping me? Why are you offering to buy me drink?
Exactly.
Because even when...
Like, are you looking down on me, bitch?
Even when they were like... Siwon took everything as a challenge, whereas Down was like, I'm trying to flirt. The first time they had like a proper conversation was at like the faculty point.
Oh yeah.
Point. I was like, so yeah, he was smart when they were sitting together and Down was okay and talking some crush. So I was like, so what kind of movies do you like? But Siwon was like, oh, this bitch is testing me. That's shit. This is some potential shit. And then Down could see right through it. He's like, those eyes. I was like, I'm obsessed with that notification. Oh, it was clear from day one that he liked him. It wasn't like day one, and he's looking at him like, I want you.
It's like, I want you so bad.
But to Siwon, that looks like he's saying, he's challenging him.
He's like, okay, you
must get intent eyes.
It's past the
He has intent eyes, and he observes it.
No.
Dude, I wouldn't know what to do with my stuff. My god. I would not to. I was sorry him. And he was talking and saying that, oh, I like French novella and all that stuff. Down is looking at him like,
intently, like, he's like, okay, I'm absorbing everything that you're saying. Like, I'm internalizing it. Like, I'm literally analyzing you. I want to memorize all your mannerisms.
Exactly.
I want to memorize the way that your mouth moves when you say words.
God. This man's chantist. They go outside, Siwon is drunk, and Siwon is like, you are fucking weird, bro. Then drunk Siwon has no filter. He's like, no, you're fucking weird. You've been staring at me, looking, and at this time,
now I've seen you been paying attention to me, and you're pretending as if you asking me questions.
Exactly. Like, oh, who do you think you are and whatnot? And Down is looking at him and is like, this man is so adorable.
Exactly.
Down's like nothing. And he's like, oh shit. Because he's also thinking to himself, oh, is that how I've been coming up?
Exactly. He's like, my bad. Oh my god, he's so cute.
Yeah,
Why is so cute?
So
even when you're angry, he's so cute.
Like, anytime like Siwon would like lose his cool with Down would just laugh. He's like,
Down is just like, he's just so cute.
Like,
how are you cute when you're angry? And he laughed. And I'm not like,
why are you laughing?
Exactly.
Am I funny?
Am I counting? Am I cut?
I know the first time when like, cause like, Siwon constantly like, he's like, why are you the witch? That's the first time when Dahan was like, no, I'm not laughing at you, cause whatever, I just
think you're cute.
And mouth, because you're still looking at him with those. And Siwon didn't know what to do with himself. He was like,
she was what needed you. Not cute, bitch. So look good. He felt like immediately because it's adorable.
couple, like, oh my god. Okay, but like as you're describing Sean is down. I mean, we spoke about Sean's side insecurities and all that stuff. Why he is.
The other side on down, right? It's not all that glitters is gold, basically. Because on his side, even though he's so handsome and he's so rich and whatever, he doesn't know whether people like him for who he really is, right? So he kind of gravitated towards Shion because he's like, okay, this is a person who's on my level, so he doesn't have to be, like, he doesn't have to have any pretense when it comes to me.
You don't have to try it.
Exactly. I don't have to filter myself. I don't have to be careful around him. And I know he's not going to be careful around me because we are on the same level already. We're the same.
I recognize that, okay, Carl's president.
Exactly.
And so friendly with people.
Exactly.
I've met my match.
I've met my match. Literally, he's not going to be careful around me. I don't necessarily have to be careful around him. Exactly. So, because he's thinking that, because that, like, what motivation would he have to try to use me? When he already has everything that I have. So, that's the things on his side. He doesn't know who to trust. He doesn't know who has his actual interests at heart. He's lonely. Not even
very lonely.
He's very, very lonely.
Yeah, his parents are not there most of the time.
Exactly.
He doesn't really have a real friend because, like Greg up said, most, like, for the most part, he thinks, okay, people want to be around me. I'm rich, handsome.
People want to be around me, but I have not for who I am.
He doesn't have friends. So the person he spends most of his time with is Shion. Because like, we're on the same level. So I can actually talk to you and be with you.
Exactly.
So, in whatnot, so,
the fact that he's lonely.
Oh, anyways. So Shion coming into his life is like, okay, I finally have that match that I can be, because he's always trying to be with him, like, even as I can sleep over at your place, whatever. I mean, like, Shion doesn't understand why this man keeps wanting to sleep over his place and whatnot. He's like,
just like, is he trying to see where I live?
Because he was trying to, like, avoid it and whatnot. Actually, the first time, he was trying his hardest to be like, no, you don't have to walk me all the way, it's fine. But then they bumped into his mom and his sister, and the mom was like, come over for dinner. And so even when he invited him to his room, it was like, you could see that it was like, uncomfortable for him, because he was like, okay, I didn't want anyone.
He's judging me. He's judging me.
Yeah, he was like, okay, you can use this, like, I have a spaceship, like a bird. But in the back of his mind, he's like, okay, but where's down, he was pretty comfortable. He was like, oh, this is the first time I actually sat down, had a meal with me, and now I'm sleeping in Russia's room. How fucking nice. I think that's the night he even told him that to dinner.
Yeah.
Just sad, because
and he immediately
else knew.
Exactly. Even Shion, like, immediately was like, oh, let's go get you a cake. Like, I know, like, all the stores are closed, but let's just go. I'll try. Let me just try.
He's like, he even also was like, why didn't you tell anyone? Like, nah. Because I think in his mind is that I know people are going to make a big hoopla about it. It's not coming from a genuine place.
It's not, like, it's just because of it's because of my fate.
But he knows with Shion, he's not trying to impress me by doing that. He genuinely cares. That's why, like, for him, he was like, oh, really? You're getting me a cake? And I was like, yeah, let's go. And but
you had all the stores are closed.
Yeah, and I was like, no, we'll make a plan. Like, I'm in the house. Anyway, but anyways, as you said, all that glitters is not gold. Anyway, so the entirety, it's also explained as to why, because at this point it might feel like Shion's mom is a villain. The reason why she's like this is because of the fact that their dad essentially cheated on their mom with a younger, more beautiful young woman. So the mom now has it ingrained in her head that looks are everything. Yeah, he would have stayed. He would have stayed if I was more fit. But also not just her, but she's saying he would have stayed for our entire family if we looked better. Because she's like, I have this chubby son. She's judging every single aspect. She was like, okay, because my son was fine. I was young and pretty. Like, I need to make sure all three of us are perfect because that's why he left. He didn't leave all of us. Because that's the thing that I think also hurts her. He didn't only just cheat and leave. I did take him out because I was mad. But like, he never even tried to fight for his kids too. And because of that. So I need to make him regret ever leaving. Exactly. That's like, she has that vengeful part of it. It's not a villainous thing, you get it. I mean, when you're insecure, you do try to overcompensate by doing things like that, and she went to the extreme with the entire family. And it fucked with her son. It fucked with her son really, really badly. It was really actually sad because what I also like, none of these characters are one-dimensional, so they're actually quite deep, which I didn't think they were going to do because the premise is that they both they're both these handsome guys, whatever. But they went in deep and they were saying, way deep. Even with Down, which they could have just left it to be like this perfect, but he has flaws. So he fucked up in that. So Shion was writing for this competition, and it was a writing competition, and he was like feeling nervous about releasing the work. He's like, what if people didn't like it? Because he's also insecure in his own body of work. He was like, what if people didn't like it? He's just insecure across the board. And but Shion, Down, read the thing and he was like, I like it. And mostly liked it because his boyfriend. It's his boyfriend who wrote it. It's not objectively like, oh, it's an amazing work. Can I just talk about how when they got together, I actually like that. Because Shion, Shion, basically said, you like me, don't you? And Down was like, oh, did you know? And I was like, yeah, you're being pretty obvious. Like, I just like that whole thing. Nobody ran away. Nobody was like mutually, exactly. It was just like, okay, you like me. Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. It was like, I killed the show and I was like, I've been waiting for you to make a move, but you're not. So, like, your dance, like, just, like, can you stop? Like, yeah, left. And now I was like, very far. Okay, now. Yeah, anyway, we started dating. Like I said, he opened up and he was like, here's my body of work. This is what I wrote. What do you think? And then Down was like, I'm doing a supportive boyfriend. I think it's great. I thought he writes was really good. It's his personal story about his life. So I thought it was great. But obviously, you know, when you're asking people who are close to you to review your work, they're not going to give you an objective opinion. Because they're tainted by the fact that this is written by somebody else. Exactly. Because he's looking at it from an emotional aspect. It's like, my boyfriend wrote this, it's pretty good. But like, objectively, is it good enough to win the competition? Which, answer no. No. And Down low-key knew that, and that's why he went to his mom and said, Mom, because his mom is like this big producer type person, and the whole competition was the fact that they were going to end up making a short story or a movie, I think, based off of the script. He ends up winning. Yeah. So now he goes at like kind of undermines in a way. Like, yeah. Okay, let me put it like this. Shion felt like it was like he was trying to undermine him, basically. Like he took it like, Shion was doing what he always does, where he said, I have to solve everything with money and my connections, right? I want to make my boyfriend happy. Anything that will make me happy, which is winning this competition, I'm going to do. I'm not really thinking about X, Y, and Z. Exactly. I'm not thinking about how the artist integrity. I'm not thinking about, did he actually earn this? I'm not thinking about the satisfaction of him doing something or the opportunity of him to grow and become better. What I'm thinking about is I just want him to just get what he wants. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Which is like, completely wrong. Yeah, I think he was in his honeymoon. He was like, this is my baby, this is my boo. So he asked his mom, he's like, man, and the mom was like, okay, cool, I guess. And the man's like, he was like, thanks, okay, cool. So Shion wins the competition. Immediately people are like, oh, I see you. Because everyone read the thing and they were like, really? Like, it's not like it's a bad story, but it's a really number one. And like people assumed that like he had connection. Yeah, people came and they were like, oh, wow. Because originally, actually, he didn't even submit it himself. He didn't even submit the thing. Like he was like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. Okay, was it the sister or was it Dawa who submitted on his behalf? I think it was a sister. Submitted on his behalf. He won competition, and a lot of people in the school were kind of talking behind his back because they know him and Down or maybe. They're friends. They could get a good relationship, but they're like, oh, you guys are friends. So you could probably ask him to ask his mom, which is the truth. But like Shion was like, no. Shion, he didn't actually confront Down about because he didn't think Down would do that. He was like, no, people are just salty, whatever. But then he overheard a conversation between the mom and Dahan, and he was, yeah. He actually did that. Like, you don't think I'm good enough. Like, exactly. That made him angrier because he was like, as much as I'm insecure within the society and I'm afraid of being rejected, I'd rather be rejected with integrity, knowing that I tried my best so that I can go improve and not just get a fucking hand me out. Because that's not what I want. So they reconciled, they talked about it. But I liked the reconciliation because it was like both of them explained that. Listen, I felt undermined and whatnot. You can't do that shit again. Like, just because I'm in a situation doesn't mean you have to, I will sort it out myself. You are supposed to be my support system, not to fix it up there. That's not why we're together. You're not here to fix my problems. You're here to be my partner. Down on the other side also expressed that, listen, I'm very sorry. I hear you. I really didn't think of any of that because I just knew I wanted to help. I did it. But you're right. I should have either just spoken to you or I should let you handle your shit and be your support.
Did I?
And then she was like, I don't know why the fuck you didn't say this.
Because we could have just never had this problem.
We could have not had this problem. Happy right now. Give me a hug.
Exactly. Then they got back together and it was cute. Been talking about it for quite a while.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
Ranking.
I'm saying it's close to superior. Actually, no.
Blueming is amazing.
Even they hook up at the beach. I was like, oh, okay, bro. Look, okay, bro.
I was like, okay. We don't go as deep with K-dramas. What the hell's going on? But yeah, super superior is for Blueming. Next, we have Cherry Blossoms of the Winter.
Quick. Okay. The death of his parents forces a 7-year-old boy named So Ha-bom to move in with an adoptive family who have a young son of the same age, Jo Tae-sung. So Ha-bom, I'm not going to say their full names, is in awe of Jo Tae-sung. He considers the boy to be everything that he's not: tall, handsome, popular, caring, and worthy of love and attention. The diminutive So Ha-bom thinks himself inferior and is humbled by the kindness of the family that took him in. Things become slightly different for the duo, however, when Ha-bom and Tae-sung end up in the same high school class. All of a sudden, they're spending more time together at home and at school, and an unexpected romantic spark ignites between the two of them. But what will Cupid have to say about this?
I'm gonna try my best not to confuse the drama plot with the webtoon plot, because I did.
Yeah,
I read.
You read the thing and watched the thing.
I watched it and I read it.
Okay, I'll try to keep you in check. So it starts off with these two. So one is adopted, the other one is the actual son. Being the adopted one. Clearly they are not friends. They're pretty estranged. Like they're not close at all.
The mom is closer to the one that's adopted than she is with the one that like her own son.
Her own son, which is Tae-sung. It mainly, Tae-sung is in his like popular, handsome face where he's like, I'm just popular and handsome. I'm not going to interact with anyone at home. A lot of it comes from the fact that he, from the get-go when he was younger, they were close. Tae-sung and Haebom were very close when they were young. And he started to recognize that I'm looking at you in a different light than I should.
He had like a crush on himself.
Yeah, and then when he clocked that that's not okay and that's not right, he instantly was like, I'm just going to detach myself from you. And that also means low-key detaching myself. Oh, the detaching from the mom actually comes from the fact that he once overheard his mom say that I wish I never had a son. Yeah, like I just wish I didn't exist.
Did they explain it in the context of the drama why she felt that way?
Because of the husband, the dad.
Because I remember it was the context of the webtoon.
Okay, what it says in the drama, it was the fact that the dad left. Like I think what's the
it was. I don't think they properly explained it in the context of the drama.
I'm forgetting.
In the context of the webtoon, it was because of the fact that the marriage between Tae-sung and Tae-sung's mom and Tae-sung's dad was arranged marriage.
Yes, they did explain that.
Yes.
So she didn't like that. She
was miserable with the marriage. She never wanted the marriage to begin with.
They did explain it in the drama. I just forgot.
So it was a thing where she was like, nah, I don't fucking want this marriage. So because she never wanted the marriage in the first place, she never wanted the son. They came with the marriage in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was like he heard that and he was like, okay, my dad hates me. So basically he was estranged from these two people. My mom hates me.
He never was close to his mom.
They were never close. They were always biting here because the mom was saying, "Oh, I wish I never had a son." And at the same, because even Haebom's mom actually clocked this because they were basically Haebom's mom and
Tae-sung's mom were basically,
and she clocked this. And I think the thing she said to her was, "Don't take this out on your son just because you are miserable in this marriage. You don't want this to take this out on your son." That was too late at that point. I think at that point.
It was already way too late.
Yeah, the relationship was tarnished. Yeah, it was very tarnished. And even now, while she's trying to repay it, he's a teenager and he's like, no, he already knows that I'm in my senior year. Next year I'm going to university, I'm going to live on my own. So there's no need point in me doing anything here. And then with Haebom is that, no, I was catching feelings for you. I'm just going to step away, and you and my mom are close. So
Hebron wasn't actually catching feelings. Hebron's thing was
that Hebron Tessong. I'm saying, Tessong was the one who's saying, I'm looking at Hebron and I'm
catching feelings. So I'm just going to
step away.
Distance.
You two can be mother and son because it seems that you guys get along better. Anyway, I'm just living in this household. Whatever.
It was a thing where it was like, because I remember the whole catalyst for them even like starting to even talk or anything, like because of Tessong. In the context of the webtoon, I don't remember if this was in the trouble or not, but in the context of the webtoon, it was because of the fact that when Tessong's mom was teaching at some point, she pointed out to Tessong that this is going to be the last year that you're going to live with.
Yeah, it was also in the drama.
Yeah, because she was like, oh, he will and then he collapsed and she's like, shit, I'm out of time.
Yeah, the entire time I've been ignoring and not speaking to this person.
He's like, I'm out of time, wait, I need to talk to him.
Yeah, it was in the drama. Because in the beginning, like, he was still ignoring him. Like, at some point, like, Hebron was getting bullied.
The classmates didn't even know these two left.
Yeah, nobody knew. He kept this thing, of course, if you're not even friends. I think he mentioned it to them. Because they just don't talk. Like, there's nothing that correlates, and people wouldn't be dead ass. So he just ignored him. But then when the mom said that, that was when he had his wake-up call. Like, I've been avoiding this person that I've actually been in love with. Like, at least let me try to enjoy it for very little time with the bit. But in that, like, the more time he spent with him, it was like,
feelings reigniting.
And Hebron is cute as hell. He's also developing feelings too. But it's different because, but what was the thing that made him
do it?
When he forced to kiss them, you know, when he had him at the wall and the what got it?
I think it was
what got him to push to the edge where no, you and I are going to be together. You like me. I know you like me. And Hebron was like, no, I know. And then
I think it was one of those things where it was like his song and so low drunk. Yeah,
I think what happened is they were drunk.
They were sneaking alcohol.
They just turned 18, so they could drink. So they were having their first drink together. I don't know if it was news or whatever, but they were having their first drink together because it was now legal.
When mom was not home.
Well, mom was not home. So they sat down, drank alcohol together, they were having a talk. I think they kissed normally. But then the next morning, one of the pair remember, and I think it was Hebron.
Hebron was pretending.
Oh yeah, Hebron was not pretending not to remember. And I think Tessong helped that a little. And he was like, I don't know why you're pretending not to remember this. And I think because he was avoiding him so much and all that stuff, that's what pushed him to be like, pushing him against the wall. And he was like, no, you like me. I know you like me. I know you want to be together and all that stuff. He was like, no, I don't like you.
I don't like you. I don't like you. Get away from me.
But he instead decided to force himself on him. Not anything crazy, just trying to push to kiss him. But then it's still assault. I just don't want to misstrip it.
Yeah.
The mom came in and his wife actually stopped Tessong.
The mom was like, what the fuck?
The mom, but to the mom it looked like he was hitting him.
Yeah.
Like it looked like
she's like, what are you doing? And then like, basically got them separated. She was like, I know you don't like him. Oh, I know you don't like me, but don't take it out on him. Everyone doesn't. And so,
someone called a call between them, like, I wanted to take care of that, but I just don't. Because that's what got them talking.
Yeah.
One of them was sick, had a fever, and then the other one had to take care of the other. That's what made them talk again, because they were already, especially Hebron. Yeah. You know, especially after. But that's when Tessong actually apologized and said, I'm so what happened.
It's like, I don't know what took over me.
I shouldn't have done that. It was completely out of line. It just was. And I was into it much.
At least we acknowledged
sometimes you rush this mom because he was Thailand and it just be hard.
Bro.
But they had that discussion and I think they agree at this point. Like I think he asked, like, can we please together? I know that you things me over stuff. That's I think it's only at not the end, but like it takes a while for Hebron to. It's okay. Let's get it together. I agree. I like you.
It took a while, and then they even had that whole entire conversation. Mom as well hadn't been at mom,
but even then it wasn't like the mom court. The mom had actually courted, so they eventually moved to university. They graduated, went to university, started living together. The dynamic is interesting because like on these secrets, they're not out. They're not actually active. Like nobody knows that they're dating. But then you have like Taesong wanting to know because of the fact that he's Jin. And it's like, I want people to know that you're off the market. Him is this adorable social butterfly kid, whatever.
People, like, he knows how to make friends. Everybody likes.
And Taesong was like, oh, this is not the one.
This is not the vibe.
This is not the vibes. But anyways, they and it's just cute stuff. It's mainly just cute stuff.
Yeah.
But the main thing is that the mom had just been kissing outside because she's been trying to call them to speak to them. And
trying to call Hebom in particular because Hebom never knocked peace.
Yeah.
He always
but Taesong, she doesn't do whatever. I mean, Hebom's been trying to get Taesong to call his mom. Like, how about you talk to your mom? No, I know you got some. You can talk on my behalf, but but she tries to call him, doesn't pick up. She goes to find him, sees him outside kissing, and she's like, holy fuck.
At first, she thought that Taesong was holding something over Hebom and like, trying to like essentially use him or like force him into the relationship.
She was like, oh,
my son's
evil. She confronted him first. She was like, I'm gonna talk to you about this. And I think that's when Taesong was like, oh, that's why you see me. And whatnot. That was pretty heartbreaking. And he said, you're not gonna talk to your boyfriend. He and I are gonna be together. Do not contact him or anything like that. The mom was still trying to contact him, but like Taesong always found a way to remove the phone. And just seduce you in the meanwhile or like whatever. But eventually, they were able to have the conversation, Hebom and Taesong's mom. And Hebom, as he should, he stood his ground.
He was honest. He was like, I'm actually in love with him.
You know, we in love with one another. We want to be together. I'm so sorry that we did this. Like, I know that you might be disappointed. This is not what you want. But like,
I'm working this hard so that I can be good. Because I know that basically. So there's a whole thing. The mom took her a while to digest it, but then eventually just, like, it's fine. Became the number one protector. Even in the comic book, she was like, do not fucking touch my son. I will murder you. So like, I will deal with you personally, because she's also a really powerful person. She like owns her own like design company type of situation. So she's like, don't fucking touch my son. Otherwise, I will personally find the gun and shoot you.
I will kill you.
I will kill you.
So I liked it. It was, once again, I don't think South Korea has ever failed in terms of, honestly, chemistry and the actor. That's always off the charts. The plot was pretty good. The story could have been just whatever. Like as childhood friends to lovers. But it was much more, and I really liked that. I even liked the way they were tackling Taesong and Taesong's mom's relationship. It wasn't rainbow and sunshine at the end. It wasn't like, oh, okay, now we're besties again. It was just like Taesong had a little more understanding of like
his mom wants.
Okay, and this is why you were treated this way. And the mom finally realized that actually Taesong does recognize that I've been
being distant towards him. I'm not being the best mom that I could be.
That's why she overcompensated with Hebom. But yeah, I like that aspect of it.
Also the fact that the whole thing, it's explained mainly in the comic book. Hebom looks, he's his mom's carbon copy. So Hebom, in terms of his attitude and the way that he looks, like facial wise, he's exactly his mom. So Taesong's mom's attachment towards Hebom, right, happened after Hebom's mom died, because that was the only piece of her friend that she could have. And Hebom's mom was the only person that Taesong's mom truly loved. So, yeah. There was a bit of like a situation I was like, are you lesbian? Don't you guys know that? Because even in the comic book, I was like, you loved her. You loved her a lot.
There's a side story and we're not exploring.
Exactly. Like, it might be a possibility that she might feel slightly more for Hebom's mom than we are explicitly telling us. But it's also the fact that everybody, because with Taesong's mom, she also comes from a place where like her entire life, her life has never been her own. So for Taesong's dad, what he represents for her is just another man who wants to control her. But the entire situation is the fact that she herself is a chaebol.
Yeah.
She was supposed to earn the company when she got older.
Yeah.
But her father was like, you're a girl, you're not allowed to.
You have to marry somebody and then I'll give it to him.
Then I'll give it to him. So she was fucking upset over that because she's like, okay, so I'm living my life in order to, as a political pawn for my dad, basically, right? That hence the whole arranged marriage thing. On top of that, like, nobody ever asks me what I want. Nobody ever checks in on me. Nobody ever has my back. The literal only person who ever had my back is Hebom's mom. And then Hebom is born, and Hebom is exactly the same.
Yeah.
So,
and not my child.
Exactly. Now he's like, she just attaches to him so much because she hasn't even like properly grieved the death of Hebom's mom. So there's much deeper layers that aren't necessarily explored in the drama, and it even continues into Tesong's dad finding out and everything. So if you want to go read that, you can go read it, but the drama is good in itself.
Yeah, as a standalone, I think the drama is
I like that drama.
I'm going as positive here. This category, like,
the K-dramas are killing it.
Yeah, the K-dramas are
killing it. Okay. I'm gonna have fun editing this. Next is Kiss.
No.
Thank you, Russian. The next one is Kissable Lips.
I will read the synopsis. A sweet and bloody campus. Wait, I don't read it. A sweet and bloody campus romance between Junho, a vampire who's walking a path of extinction, and Minhyun, a human with pure blood. Junho is a vampire who's about to die, and to survive he will need to drink pure blood and thus become a human. One day, while searching for this pure blood, he meets Minhyun, a human with pure blood, but another vampire named Haesu, who knows about Junho's past traumas, causes Minhyun and Junho to fall out. When the fuck is this happening? Living a normal life as a human and protecting Minhyun, what will Junho have to face?
Half of what you just read here, we don't remember it because the loss of... I'm pretty sure that's why.
First of all, this drama was
I didn't like the vampire concept is goofy, but now, the way they executed this, I was like, guys, no, man, like,
I don't think that we were laughing our asses off throughout this entire drama.
Literally, we watched it together. We were literally sitting on the same bed watching it together. And we didn't, let me try to explain. So, initially, it was between Kissable Lips and something else that we wanted to watch then. We wanted to watch it, right? It was either Kissable Lips or we were going to watch something else. So we forgot what the other option was, right? But we were like, okay, fine, that one seems longer. Kissable Lips, like, we don't need something that's that long.
Yeah, right? Like, and it was like easy to digest. Let's do this one.
Exactly. So we're like, okay, no, we're gonna just watch it just now, and then it's fine. Afterwards, then we'll go to bed. Yo, when I tell you that we did not expect that shit. Like, it was
horrendously bad.
It was, I didn't think, cause also at this point, keep in mind, at this point, we had never watched a K-drama BL that would be like bad, right? At this point, we already, like, our experience with K-drama BL.
Even Noble Ryu's wedding wasn't this camp.
Exactly. Even Nobleman Ryu's wedding wasn't this camp. So we were like, okay, it's the worst that we can have with K-dramas is Nobleman Ryu's wedding. Then it's fine. It can't be that bad. It's vampire.
There were so many problems. There were so many things that went like, so what is the thing? Because initially we're like, okay, so he has to make this pure blood dead human fall in love with him. Then he's gonna do this eye thing, and then they're gonna get together, and then he's gonna drink his blood.
Wasn't it the whole thing that, like, he's supposed to kill him or something so that, like, he can be safe or something?
It's not that he has to kill him. It's that he can't control himself. The blood is so good that he's going to kill him. That's the thing. So it's like, not that he has to kill him. It's like, we have to fall in love with you and drink your blood. But there's a 99% chance that you're gonna die in the process. But it has to be trust between the two of us. Because I remember even at the end, Minhyun was willing to give his blood. He was willing to give a drop of his blood because that's all he needed. Really, he didn't need a lot. He just needed a little bit. But what was that explain about the best questions when wait, offered like, oh, I can give you a number I can give you like a file or whatever.
Yeah.
It's an option. There's a whole fucking plot. Like, I don't understand. So, I remember the criteria was literally, he has to be in love with you.
Yeah.
And you get the blood. And he must be pure blooded. Those are the only two criteria.
Those are the two criteria, right?
So the England I was offering now, I was like, wait, so this is an option.
What? Yeah, cause yeah, at that time I was thinking, right? Okay, they say that the only way he can break is if he bites you, right? Like, he has to definitely bite you. That's the only way he
I
can
also
break
thought that. But clearly it's not. And if I give up blood all the time, there's this principal, whatever the fuck of the university, the head of the university, whatever. You just got him blood bags because he's bad at controlling his thirst. I think like he controlled someone before, so he doesn't usually feed on people because there's a chance that he might see them. So she gets him blood bags. Here's your blood bag.
This entire time I was thinking, like,
so then now why can't you get a blood bag from? Like he totally donate you.
Why can't I donate you like a blood bag?
Oh, but honestly, I don't know the whole thing with the brother. Let me tell you, the brother thing confused me. So, these two are like in this like hidden way, what I don't know, like his secret hideout, the vampire secret hideout. They're having a moment and they're about to kiss, right? The brother steps in and he's like, "Get away from my brother" and all that stuff. And then that he drags him outside, and then the brother's confused. He was like, what's going on? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I think he's so eyes, but it doesn't matter. But then the brother was like, it's because you're pure blood, right? He wants your blood and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, so you know. And I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Exactly.
And there might be like some, like, backstory.
Is there like an organization
happening? Fucking rejection. The brother came in to dump that information. Fucking dope. He didn't care after that. There was a whole, they painted the brother out to be the extra protective brother, constantly calling his brother, like,
and then I was all of a sudden like, okay, so it makes sense why you would be so overprotective, right?
You know that exactly. And vampires exist, also.
Exactly.
There's a society, there's a thing.
There's a thing that your brother knows that maybe he didn't necessarily explain to you. You're only finding out because now all of these things are happening. He's been trying to protect you from this. Never talked about it again.
He's been like, for 2 episodes,
literally went to appear.
So he doesn't give a fuck anymore. After that, he's like, Father Minyang was just told that his potential boyfriend is a vampire and he wants his pure blood. And he gives no fucks. He goes back to him and he's like, hey, Bella, I just put them Bella, not
he's from Bella, we know that like, they were like, he was compelling her or something
exactly,
like that, right?
This case it wasn't that, and I think they knew each other for one day. That was the first time, and in that moment, it was like, but I like him, I'm gonna go back. And then the brother never came back. It was some goofy shit, like, it was really camp, because they were just doing things and then it wouldn't do anything. And then there was this enemy that they mentioned, that was just, I didn't understand what the enemy was even trying to do. It didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense. It just,
what is your plan? What is your plan? He was doing goofy shit. He was like, great. He was like, the enemy also wanted the blood. But the enemy wanted to die. He wanted them both to die, I think. And I just remember what he was going on. But I remember him doing contradiction things.
He was, that's the thing. Because it was like, he was like, on one end it's like he's trying to get him killed, but at the same time it's like you're trying to save him. What do you want? Because they also like explain it as a thing of like, they have a history together or some shit.
I know,
right?
The whole hit, that was like,
and then it was like, at some point it was like, he didn't kill him because he wanted him. But then it's like, okay, then why was he killing him? And why did he do that? And
I'm gonna kidnap my boyfriend, then I'm gonna kill him. But it's like, no, here's where the contradiction was. Yeah. He wanted him to love him so they can be together because what his face wants to turn into a human. But he doesn't want him to turn into, because he wants him to love. But the guy is dying. Yeah, already. So I didn't understand. But the only way the guy could actually live was through Mignon's blood. But he was like, I'm gonna kill Mignon. It's like, did you not say you want to kill him? It's just like, you kill Mignon. You are literally killing the guy you are now with.
Practically killing him, Juno.
Yeah, and literally killing Juno is why you kill Mignon. What is not kicking? Because I want to be with you, and it's like, the only thing that's stopping him from dying is the planet he's trying to kill. The ending.
Okay, so let me tell you something about this ending. Tubbs and I were shook to the core, with a core, and how the fuck this thing ended. Because I remember we looked at the screen and yet, and the thing is with this thing, literally the last, you see the episode like going towards the ending, right? Like you see the timing, and it says 5 minutes left, and you're like, how are they gonna resolve all of this in 5 minutes, right? And then you see like 2 minutes left, and you're like, ain't no way, ain't no way. And then it just ends. It's just ending. No conclusion. No conclusion. And the other way was, I think the version that we watched didn't even have the ending credits scene. And then they didn't even tweet us. We went to fucking look at producers. We're like, somebody has to talk about the ending. And it was what the ending. I mean, it just ends. Because the screen just, you know, when the screen goes back to the replay, that's how a screen did. Initially, in my entire life, I just remember, I just losing our shit. I literally got up from the bed. I was like, what? I threw my phone aside. I was like, was that the end? Nothing was resolved.
It was a bad drama.
It was just a bad drama. I don't like.
Let's not cop on this. There's so many other dramas. I'm putting it in. Cancel this. Trash. It's trash. Trash. It was a time waster. It was a fun time when I was assholes. But I would never recommend this to somebody.
I would recommend it for the campness.
For the campness, but it's not. It's worse than Golden Blood and Nobleman.
Yeah,
Nobleman. It was really.
Because like, what the hell was that? Like,
what a night. You picked the best drama to watch that night, Shum. Oh, watch that alone. I don't know how to explain it to you. One of us was gonna finish it first, and then Peter go think, okay, fine. And how do I then, like, expect? It's like, let's say for example, you finish first, because we have a tendency of doing this. Like, you finish something, and then as I'm watching it, I'll send you updates and stuff like that. And what am I even gonna say to you? Like, in that case, even though you watched it, I know you watched it, but what was they? It's like, of course. I did shenanigans. I thought we were on a trip.
What? Please watch.
When you watch that thing, it seems like you skip episodes. As you're watching it, like, Heidman, wait till we put this one out. When did they start hitting? When it just shows out, and it just keep happening.
That's the whole series.
You also don't understand why that lady who's the principal, why the fuck she is in the school.
Yeah.
Why is she passionate? You know, why is it that? It doesn't work. Why? Oh, you should know you're a vampire. What are you? See, I ain't getting it. It was next drama.
To my star.
To my star.
My God.
To my star is actor Kang So-jun was once one of South Korea's biggest and most popular stars, but his career is now in a decline. Despite his fall in popularity, he believed that he has a change of fortune when he meets and falls for a dashing young chick named Han Ji-woo. Despite having widely different personalities, the two enter a relationship. However, their love comes under threat when the more conservative Han Ji-woo and the free-spirited Kang So-jun realize that their outlooks on life, love, and everything else appears irrevocably different.
Okay, so I don't think I have too much to say about season 1 because there really wasn't much that happened.
Not that much, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's literally like a setup. it's literally just like, for the most part, it's like a setup.
It's just
like,
it's just a short,
it's a simple drama.
Literally just like a burning like time type thing.
Yeah, they get like it's short. It's nine episodes, 15 minutes.
Legitimately.
Yeah, it's just a short thing where it's like, okay, so and so is attracted to the other, so he's actively courting him, but the other guy is more cold than whatever. But eventually they both cave in. Well, the other one caves in. They shoot just about it. There's other conflicts in there, but like, I don't have much to say about them. But I know there was the friend who was doing blackmailing shit.
I think that was probably the most dramatic thing that
was the most,
because it was the whole thing where, you see also the contrast in how these two characters, like, let me say this. The way that it ended, cause I don't really want to discuss everything in detail. The way that it ended for me, in the sense that, they kind of just made the whole villain of the story go away, right? Because the whole thing about them separating was because of the whole blackmailing thing. A fangirl basically took a photo of these two while they were party kissing, and then it ended up in the hands of the friend. The friend blackmailed Kang Seo-jun because he's in debt. He's like, okay, I'm gonna release this photo if you don't give me money, essentially. Kang Seo-jun was like, okay, fine, just give me. He's like, this is not my first rodeo. You're not the first type of person to ever do this to me. We always like deal hush money to people quiet anyway. So gives him the hush money. The friendship between what is his name? The main character guy. Ju. The friendship between Ju and his friend ends completely because he's like, I can't be with you when you would dare do something like blackmailing and whatever. Especially because the friend was also trying to justify it as well. He's like, I just can't be around a person like this. And then now they're in a relationship. But my problem with the way that it ended, it was because of the fact that they didn't really deal with the differences between Seo-jun and Ju. They were being together. When they are in a relationship together, it's cute. It's amazing. It's lovable. They're the cutest thing. But the problem is the fact that Ju doesn't deal with his problems. He kind of runs away from them, right? Ju is very much a runner. Or if he deals with something, he doesn't communicate that I'm dealing with something, right? He doesn't know how to rely on somebody else. Seo-jun, on the other end, is the complete opposite. He openly attaches to someone, right? And then when he solves problems, he wants to normally just throw money at them. And just make them go away, right? Because he's like,
it's not solving the problem, it's just making the problem go away.
Exactly. So he doesn't actually, both of them don't deal with the problems. They just don't deal with them in very different ways. They're very avoidant of their problems. Ji-woo runs away or tries to do things in private without talking. Seo-jun is like, I'm doing whatever it takes to protect what I have and keep it as it is. But so I'm just going to throw money to make it either go away, or I'm going to fastest, most quick, efficient way to make things go my way instead of actually dealing with the core issue, right? So that was my problem when we came towards the ending, and that's why the ending for me in the first season didn't really feel that satisfactory. So I was like, I like them when they're together, but when they're dealing with problems, I worry. Like, I don't see this relationship lasting past a year. So that was my thing. I agree. Which season 2, we're gonna get into that just now. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think you summarized it pretty well. I agree with what you think.
For that reason, that would be something that personally I would change, because I think when they did To My Star, I don't think they did it with the intention of having a season 2, actually. The season 2 came up because 1, it was popular, and 2, I think they wanted to confront these very issues that I'm talking about. I agree. I think they knew that they had a lot of shortcomings. It's one of those things where I feel like it did suffer because it should have been longer.
I think it should go into a very good.
Very good? Okay, so To My Star goes to very good. The next one is To My Star 2.
Here, after his career took a steady turn for the worst, one of South Korea's biggest stars, Kang Seo-jun, was afraid that he might never be happy again. But after a chance meeting brings the talented chef Park Ji-woo into his life. It was not season 2. It is.
What?
Okay.
I think it's a summary of both
Okay.
seasons.
So June is certain his luck was about to change. Despite their different personalities, the chef and the celebrity found themselves unable to resist each other's charms. Head over heels for one another, Jun and Ji-woo believed they had finally found happily ever after. But their happiness turns out to be short-lived when one of them disappears. How the fuck did they spend so long describing episode 1? Okay, because the main meat is this part.
Yeah.
Anyways, when one of them disappears, leaving nothing but a note behind. Lost without the other, will the two star-crossed lovers find a way back to each other, or has their fairy tale romance truly come to an end?
Okay.
The main thing is that, like, okay, fine, they were happy that, unexplained at the time,
Jiwoo
just runs away on his birthday. Just runs away without a trace, doesn't tell anyone where he's going. It's such a method thing to do, because, like, in my mind, I think the first thing I think of, because there was no indication that he was going to leave. We're happy and fine. He made this decision on the whim. I would think, no ways he left, something must have. When I go to worst case scenario, I'm calling hospitals, I'm calling police stations, because I'm going to my worst case scenario. Because like, this is out of the blue. We texted this morning. It's my birthday. Because even, like, he prepared a cake for him. And everything. Like, he was ready to celebrate his birthday, but then he saw something. Just into it now. Basically, he saw Jun celebrating his birthday with his co-stars. It was like, as you do, like, it was his birthday. They brought him a cake. They were singing for him. They're like, oh, here he is. And Jiwoo in that moment was like, oh, I don't fit into his world. He was like, he should be there. He should be. Yeah. Look at me all alone. It's better if I just do. Instead of communicating it, as we mentioned, issues in the season. He runs away. He leaves a note saying, don't follow me, don't look for me. Peep them out. Obviously, Sojun is heartbroken by that. I think it's first sadness, then manifests into anger. Oh, sadness, worry, anger. And he's determined to find him. Actually, he's like, I'm gonna find this person, and when I do, I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind. Because what the fuck? Which I agree. It is a what the fucking moment. So he does eventually find him, and when he first finds him, he thinks that he's got a child and a wife, but it was a misunderstanding. That's cleared up quite quickly. It's like
almost the city.
Yeah, it was like right then and there it's cleared up, and he's like, okay, it's out for you. While he's there, Jiwoo,
I feel like I need to point this out though. Like, Sojun himself was like building himself so much as to like, what am I gonna say, what am I gonna do when I see him? And also, like, this part like kind of broke my heart. But the first time he sees him, Sojun instantaneously crumbles. Yeah. He, like, all that bravado that he like prepared initially, he's like, I'm gonna let him know. I'm gonna let him know, because this entire time he was like, okay, how the fuck do you disappear? I'm worried about you. And like, where are you? Right? Finds out where he is. Now that worry turns into anger, because he's like, okay, how the fuck are you telling me that you had a vacation?
Yeah,
exactly. Like, you just disappeared, and now you're having like a whole ass vacation. You're living your best life, and this entire time, and keep in mind, Sojun was getting to a point where he was even hallucinating about it.
Yeah.
He was like grieving.
His acting was been getting fired. There were so many things. Like,
there was so many layers to this.
He was heartbroken. Imagine on your birthday, someone leaving a note saying, I'm leaving, don't look for me, blah, blah, blah. That's a lot. And he held in a lot of that. He was trying to hold it together. He was like, he's breaking down, but he's trying to hold it together. No, I'm gonna find him. Find him. And he's just standing there being like, hi. Like, what the fuck do you want? What are you doing? And he breaks, because like, it automatically breaks it, because he's like, this entire time, I can barely even sleep in the house that we got together. Literally. Like, I can barely, like, literally, I refuse to leave that. Like, keep in mind, for the past 2 years, he refused to leave that place, because he was like, what if Jiwoo comes back? What if Jiwoo comes back and I'm not here? So I can't leave. But yet, he knows that every single night, when I go to bed, I'm going to dream about him. And when I wake up in the morning, all his things are around me.
Exactly.
He didn't get rid of
all his things. Yeah.
They're all sitting as they were 2 years ago. He didn't touch anything, because I want it to be here for him when he comes back. But then he sees him and he's like, oh no, you've just been living here.
Exactly.
Normally.
Nice life.
Yeah, and he was like, okay. Well, out of anger, he's like, gonna need to come pick up your shit. Take it out and like, you need to fuck out of my life.
Yeah.
Well, not my life, but yeah.
Get the fuck out. Like, I don't want anything more to do with you because you've at least had a life. Mine has been stuck at the same place that you left it 2 years ago.
And Jiwoo was pretty cold. And he was originally cold in season 1 anyways, but he's much colder now because he's trying his hardest to get rid of Sojun. So he's just cold. He's mean. He says hateful things. Sojun is mainly trying to figure out, Plenty, why did you leave? Like, okay, now I found you and I noticed that you lived pretty well. You were actually okay. Why did you leave? And Jiwoo, of course, does what he always does and he's avoiding it. He's push. That's the worst. The other one is attaching himself overly, is clinging to him for dear life.
He just wants an answer.
And the other one is pushing back. It's like a very, very hard push and pull to watch. It's very frustrating to watch because you want Sojun to walk away. Sojun, please walk away. Take your dignity and leave. Jiwoo is treating you like trash. And I was actually like, I was like, also want Jiwoo to speak the fuck out. She's like, dude, you left. Like, give this man closure. It's like both of them, you're looking at them and you're like, you need to leave and you need to speak your mind. Like this whole thing that you guys are doing.
This entire thing with Sojun, my whole thing with Sojun, I was like, Sojun, closure is overrated.
Really?
It's overrated. Like, you don't necessarily always need closure. You don't necessarily always need to understand or dissect situations. It kind of explained later why he is the way that he is, and it makes sense why with Sojun he would not be, right? But it's like, closure is overrated. You don't need to always have closure. Same as Jiwoo, right? His pushback later on makes sense, but it's like, you don't get to just mistreat people because of your own shit either.
Yeah.
You know? But like, it's just hard. It's hard to watch.
It's just very hard to watch. It's very heartbreaking. It's a lot of crying. It's a lot of pain. It's a lot of asking. It's a lot of frustration. I do like it when they do. Yeah, so they do get together at the end. So I do like at the end there was some begging involved.
On the part of
Jiwoo needed to beg.
Jiwoo needed to be, because the whole thing, the thing is the minute he said these,
Sojun also broke. Like, Sojun was trying very hard to stay strong. He was like, no.
Be like, nah,
you've hurt me so many times. Because at some point, Jiwoo did this thing where, like, okay, let's, like, they kissed, and then Jiwoo was like, okay, you wanna fuck me? Then let's fuck. He was doing this whole thing of like, okay, I'll give you what you want then.
I'll just give you what the fuck you want. Like, but I'm not necessarily emotionally.
And Sojun knows that he was like, no, but I want us to be together. I want you to explain
I want the whole version of you.
And he was like, you're not gonna get it. It's either we're gonna have sex or whatever. And it's clear, he was just toying with him. Like, he was meant to be fucking with him for a very long time, while simultaneously pushing him away. It was a lot on Sojun. So when Sojun finally summed up all the fucking courage to be like, okay, I'm done.
Now this is actually like
done. I'm walking away from this. I can't do this anymore.
Like, I fought as much as I can.
I tried. Like, he really did. This man that got an RV and was like, I'm gonna live on your property then. So we see each other every day. And you tell me why the fuck you walked away.
Bro,
I don't get it. But then, especially because even when he finally told him the reason, it was a sad thing because he's like, in our relationship, I was lonely. Like, I've never felt more lonely than when I was with you. Which is so unfair on Sojun's part because Sojun, in the sense that was trying his hardest to make sure that he did. Because Sojun is this popular actor, whatever, but he always made sure to include Jiwoo. I keep saying Jiwoo. I'm thinking of the other drama.
Yeah.
Jiwoo. He was always trying his hardest to include Jiwoo. Even when it came to prioritizing, he was like, okay, no, what do you need?
Because we even switched back to that entire birthday party scene thing, where it was like the one that became the camel that broke, the straw that broke the camel's back for Jiwoo, right?
Yeah.
We switched back to it, but in Sojun's perspective, Sojun took a couple of photos with his co-stars and immediately was like, okay, I gotta go home.
Even when
my boyfriend was going home.
Yeah, when he said like, when they were like, we have to celebrate, let's get drinks. I was like, nah, I was like, appreciate it, but I'm going home to my boyfriend. That was the whole thing. When he got upset, regardless of how tired he was, he went back home. Even when Jiwoo would say to him like, okay, you don't need to actually come now, I know how tired you are. He was like, what's the point of you coming if you're just gonna leave like at 6 a.m.? No, but I just want to see you. Even if I see you for those 15 minutes and I don't get sleep, I just want to like hold you and be with you for this 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That was the kind of person he was. So when he heard from Jiwoo that
he was the most loneliest. He was like, what the fuck? I gave you my everything and it wasn't saying that to me. You know what? It's fine. We're done.
And then you left. I left everything to come to you on my birthday only to find you not there. He was like, okay, I'm done.
He's like, okay, I'm done.
Thank you for telling me the reason. Now that I know, okay, I'm fine. I'm the worst person. Fucked up. I wasn't good enough for you. I'm gonna leave it. Left. You will realize that I done fucked. Nobody's gonna love me like that man does. I am in love with him. I miss him. I'm just a self-sabotaging bitch. I don't know how to communicate. I need to fix
And
this.
the whole thing with Sojun, I need to explain this for both of them actually. Both of them are extremely lonely individuals.
Yeah, right.
Sojun curbs his loneliness by attaching to other people, by people pleasing, by being extremely present, and by trying to be people's center of the universe. That's how he tries to curb his loneliness. He tries to curb his loneliness by being the center of everything. Jill tries to curb his loneliness by being alone.
Yeah.
I'd rather be alone. I don't want to experience being with someone, because then the moment you're not there, I'm going to remember loneliness. So I'd rather just not have I just rather have everyone at all. So, but both of them suffer from the same thing. And having two people who are like that with unchecked trauma,
no communication skills on top of that. It's a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
But Jill goes, ends up, no, I want to be with you and all that stuff. And so June is like, I'm not doing this again. You said you were lonely. Fuck that. Like, oh, fine, we're not gonna be here. And like he's saying all these things, and then eventually he's like I don't think he's ever said this before. Like, and you have to understand that dynamic. Jill saying please, like,
it's not something that he says.
It's not something he says. And that's like the breaking point. His actors were also good. You was standing. The thing is, that puppy look he gave him, that puppy, because he already has a puppy dog look in general. He's like kissing a puppy at the same time.
Do you know the thing? I remember like texting you. I was like, I want so bad for Soji not to take him back. But even me looking at him,
when he said,
I'm like, how could you say no?
Look at me like that and saying, please. Like, fuck, okay, sure. I guess you back together. He literally took him back, and I was like, I was like, dude, we have the weapon of life. What the fuck was I?
He was like, what the hell was that?
Like a wounded puppy. Like, if you say no, you're a puppy. It was so adorable. Like, and I was like, but I wish you to beg more. But I get it. I would have also caved. If I was in this position, I would have also caved. I get it.
I was like, fuck.
They get back together. They promise each other to speak more. Like, you need to tell me when you feel this way.
Like, whenever you feel insecure within our relationship, whenever you feel like you're not enough for me, or you feel as if somebody, like, I'm being occupied by something more, or you feel as if just something's going on with you, you can't run away.
You have to just tell me.
You need to tell me, because if you run away, if you run away, like, how do you expect us to have an actual functional relationship?
I know. Sorry. They get back together. It was a necessary season to have.
It was. Frustrating as hell, though.
Yes.
A few scenes I feel like we could have left them out.
It was unnecessarily long.
It didn't have to be that long.
The running time, like, it's
way too long.
Guys, come on, like,
it's way too long. There were things that I was like, okay, no, we didn't have to have those things.
I personally think, I don't think it's super superior. I think it's superior.
You think it's superior?
Yeah. I don't think she's flawless. I don't think she's without flaws.
It's not without fault.
Yeah, because, like, even what you call it, we mentioned the runtime.
That shouldn't. Like, you could have
cut out some of those scenes. It was unnecessary. Just a plot points. I was like, like, what are we doing here? Like,
just the way that they dealt with the concept of grief, the concept of self-sabotage.
Yeah, I like that.
Self-love,
even. What they intended to do, they did.
They did it really fucking well. So I think superior it is for my song. And now for the last two, Color Rush. And it's second season, but now we're talking about Color Rush.
Synopsis goes as follows. Monochromatic people, known as monos, live in a world where they're not able to see colors and therefore view their surroundings through varying shades of gray, black, and white. However, every mono has a fated person known as a pro, who was able to trigger their grayscale world into a color, introducing the term color rush. Yeonwoo is a mono. He's aware that other colors do exist, but he has never experienced them for himself, nor was he interested in doing so. However, Yeonwoo's life is forever changed when he meets Yuhan, his pro, and experiences his first color rush. Terrified that he would be obsessed with Yuhan because Yuhan's ability to make him see colors, Yeonwoo tries to avoid Yeonwoo tries to avoid Yuhan, but why does Yuhan insist on... No, Yuhan. Oh, Yuhan insists on drawing closer to him.
Okay, so I will first speak about... I want to speak about it more on a meta level first before I speak about the actual plot.
Okay.
So, the meta level messaging of Color Rush, loved it, because it dealt with self-identity versus self-perception versus perception of society. Because the entire situation that Yeonwoo was going through was the fact that he was battling with who he was, right, by his nature versus what was expected of him as a person, right? So, the whole thing is the fact that because he is a mono, right? He's expected, we see it multiple times throughout the entire story. Monos, use of monos, kidnapping their probes, eating their flesh, some of them killing them, some of them kidnapping them, they become obsessed to a point where they can't let them go.
It's like, right? Yeah, I need you in my life and I'm not letting you go, so I'm gonna tell you to my face.
It's obsessive.
I'm gonna do what I need to do to make sure that you stay here in front of me where I can see color. Get this color.
So it's obsessive as hell, right? Some of them torture them, some of them are abusive. So now Yeonwoo, being put or thrust into this world where he's kind of preconceived to be such a violent, vile type individual, and him having to battle against that. And even in school, he can't even tell people that I'm a mono because he knows I'm going to get bullied. So it's
he knows people want to look at him sort of way.
Exactly. So it's this whole thing that the meta level conversation that we're having is something that I highly appreciated personally, because I felt like it dealt with really, really heavy topics that I think most people and most kids that are seen as a part of a certain group that is not necessary or that has preconceived notions attached to it, right, can probably relate to. So I love the meta commentary on it, right?
Yeah.
Also the whole thing we're gonna as we're gonna discuss just now, the fact that all that glitters isn't gold. His pro is also has his own limitations.
Yeah.
In the sense that, Yeonwoo's face is the only one that he can see.
Yeah, he can't see it. Everyone else has a own face to him. And so he, this is the first person that he looks at and,
I can see your face.
I can see your face. And he has another sense of the degree where he's hiding in the basement.
Yeah.
But he clings to him. He's like, okay, no, I have to keep you in my life because I see your face. He's also hiding this from everyone else because once again, society, when they find out that you're different,
they're going to other you.
Yeah.
So it's like these two kids, I don't know, the meta level commentary, loved it, but getting into the plot, this is one of those ones that I also feel like it suffered because it needed to be longer.
Out of all of them.
Out of all of them, because the only thing, to be entirely honest, this one, I could forgive it because from the beginning they intended for it to have a season 2.
Yeah, you can tell. They left it on a cliffhanger.
And they intended for it to have a season 2 from the beginning. Because they even the director made a comment as soon as it got released, he was like, okay, if we do have enough funding, we can pop in the season 2.
Sense. There's no way we want to produce her story in one season.
Exactly. And, but there's this whole, so Yeonwoo's mom, she went missing. Nobody knows, where she is. Yeonwoo's dad was Yeonwoo's mom's pro. He died. After he died, his mom could no longer see Kendall, but she was kind of moving on, grieving and everything, but she kind of just went missing. Nobody knows where the fuck she is. This is kind of alluded to in season 2. I'm gonna talk about it later as to what the fuck happened to her.
Yeah.
So Yonu's trying to like he lives with his aunt. His aunt is doing this investigation thing. She's a journalist. She's investigating, finding out what's happening to these monos, because right now, because she knows that it must be interconnected somehow, because for the longest time, probes were the victims of a lot of these crimes, but now it's also monos. Monos are just going missing left, right, and center. So now she's like, I need to investigate what's happening. So Yeonu spends a lot of his own, his time by himself, transfers to this new school, makes new friends, almost necessarily the friends are able to recognize, oh, he must be a mono.
Yeah.
The friends are quite observant.
Yeah.
And it's just cause they also...
The friends, even, not just them, but even his probe, the friends, like when we find out about the probe, the one friend was like, oh, I knew.
Yeah.
Like I could tell because of, forget what incident happened, but I was like, this happened and you said this incident. I could tell that you actually can't.
You can't see faces. So he was like, okay, anyway. So he was like, I'm a bit tired, I'm sorry. so he was like, okay, we know we'll keep it a secret for you. We know we're not going to tell anybody. With the teachers, they were like, okay, we're not going to tell the teachers either. Nobody knew. They kept it a secret. They were amazing friends.
Yeah,
friends are great. Love that. So these two just kind of have a budding relationship. At first it's like a back and forth, because Yeonu is like, I can't afford to be obsessed with you.
Yeah.
Right? I cannot afford to be obsessed with my probe, because I know what happened.
Exactly.
When
I'm trying to put a little closer.
Exactly. So I'm going to try to be distant. But Yuhan is like, no.
Yeah, I like you. Can we be?
Listen, come.
You're not going to be obsessed.
You're not going to be obsessed. He's like, I trust you. I know nothing about you, but
and
I trust
I'm voluntarily being here. The problem
exactly.
with the monos and the probes before, at some point the probe is like, hey, listen, I don't want to stick around
exactly.
anymore. Like, because you meet your probe and it's like they have their own life outside.
They have their own free will.
Yeah, but those monos were like, no. Like, I need you here 100% of the time. I need to see color all the time. Like, my world is ending without you. So that's when they become obsessive. But Yuhan is saying, I'm voluntarily saying I'm gonna be your probe. Like, nobody's forcing anyone. I'm saying I want to be in your life. We can be together. So there's no reason for you to turn into this obsessive person that the world society says monos are. Like, you have the choice not to be that way. We have the choice different.
Yeah.
And he finally agrees. There was this whole thing with the mom. Oh my god. Okay, but can I just... It ends basically, the cliffhanger that made us, okay, let's just go into season 2.
Yeah.
It ends with Yuhan being kidnapped.
Yuhan goes missing.
Yeah. Kidnapped, goes missing, we don't know. He's just gone. Yeah. Yuhan is gone. And
did it end with Yuhan missing though?
Yes,
season 1?
Not that he's missing, yes.
No, it wasn't season 1 the one where it just ended with them being together. Because it ended with
it starts in season 2 of him trying to figure out where he went.
No, season 2, that's when we found out that he went missing in the first place.
It's not that he's missing in the the parents of Yuan's parents tell the friends and Yeonu that he went to overseas. He's gone to overseas.
To America.
Yeah, he's not missing, he's just gone to overseas. I think that's where and then season 2 is you saying that I don't do that.
No, season 1 ended on a happy note though. Because I remember with
something that they have to do. No, there's something on season 1 where they ended where it shows up.
It was the mom thing. It was the mom thing. Because I remember the mom thing, we never found out how that ended. Because I remember the entirety of the entire investigation, right? Season 1 ended with them on the beach. After the parents, after Yuhan's parents were like, okay, no, you need to come back home, right? And then Yeonu's aunt also calling and being like, okay, no, his parents are literally all up in my shit. Like, you need to come back.
That's what
right?
I mean. And it doesn't end with they go sit this. I need to say, okay,
they didn't go, it ended on them at the beach. That's the thing. That's where season 1 ended. Season 1 ended with them on the beach, and then season 2, that's when Yuhan is just not in season 2 at all. And then that's when we find out that after they went back home, his family said that he went to America. That's what happened.
I thought that we were in season 2. I mean, in season 1 at the end.
No, season 1 at the end, it ends with them on the beach.
Okay, happy notes. Okay.
It's that first kiss that they had, and then they were like, okay, we'll just go back home and face the music. And then with us, the reason why we were like, okay, there must be a season 2 was because of the fact that they didn't resolve what happened to the mom.
Yeah.
They didn't talk about because we hear bits and pieces of what could be a bigger mystery through the news.
Yeah.
Right? Like through the news with his aunt, what his aunt is doing, going back and forth and blah, blah. Like we know that there's something bigger going on, but none of it is remotely resolved by the end. And that's why we were like, there's no possible way that this could end here.
Yeah, okay, there's too many questions.
There's too many questions left unanswered. Especially with the dad as well, because we're like, okay, did his dad actually like die in an accident? Like,
yeah, there was a lot of things.
There was just a lot of things that were like question marks. And that's when we're like, there's no possible way that
there has to be a season 2.
Yeah, okay. And then season 2, that's when it starts with Johan is gone. The friends don't believe that, okay, let's just talk.
Yes.
I haven't been in season 1. I mean, it was a good story, but it left too many questions unanswered.
But they did it with the intention of having season 2. It's not the same as...
That's my point.
What's the fucking other one here? Not the same as like You Make Me Dance. Yeah. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a season 2 here, but like you guys are just... What are these holes that you guys have hit? It's not the same. This one, there's a full... They're also not just setting up things for the sake of setting up. It's clearly we're setting up for something going in the future.
This is a universe.
It's a universe we're building. So for that, it's not... I personally think it was very good.
Same. Because I do think that there were minor things that like kind of bothered me a little bit about it. Because, the way that they dealt with the self-identity aspect of it, I fucking loved it. Even with, it's not the glorification of it because they dealt with it it's a very sensitive thing, but like Yeonwoo's attempted suicide, they dealt with it brutally and it was really painful. But it also showed the very real result of what happens when you believe that you're something that you're not, right?
You portray to be this monstrous person.
Exactly.
And died.
Exactly. Then I don't really deserve to live because I had a thought. Because he even said himself, like, I had a thought. I wanted to kidnap you at some point. And I felt like I can't do that because I love you too much, right? So, just the whole thing, I fucking loved how they dealt with it. Yeah. And it's fucking sensitive and it's gut wrenching at times, but anyway. Very good it is for Color Rush season 1, and now we're gonna go to Color Rush season 2, which we've been talking about. Okay, so Choi Young-woo is a high school student and a monarch. Not them. A person who sees the world in only dull and lifeless black and white. But for every mono, there's a probe. A kind of soulmate who allows the mono to see the world in color. Yeonwoo's probe was a boy named Johan, and the two developed a beautiful friendship that blossomed into romance. But as their relationship intensified, mysterious ongoing suddenly got very unpleasant for who eventually found out that Johan had disappeared, with his mother also vanishing. The mom said, he went to America, and then the mom stopped talking to him. Yuan vows to do whatever it takes to track down his probe and his mother. A classmate named Cheon? Brigitte? First name? Where? Oh, Sehyeon. First name Sehyeon learned that Yeonwoo's quest and resolve to help and protect him, as a close friendship develops between the two students. But Sehyeon hides a secret, and Yeonwoo could be about to discover the truth. Meanwhile, Yeonwoo is not alone. Other monos are nearer than he might think, including a female mono who's looking for her own probe, a TV producer who's also on the scene, hoping to get to the bottom of the mono probe monster. There was a trend. There was a lot going on in this season. Like I said before, at the beginning of the season, we see that he's just not there. Like Yuhan is gone. We don't know where he is. He went to the US, so also fucking questions. Exactly.
the friends themselves are like, we don't believe that he's gone to the US, something, they kind of allude to something bigger going on, but they don't necessarily explicitly say it, right? But they all, at the beginning, right, they kind of allude that there's something going on, but we don't know to what extent they are suspicious. This is something that we find out later on when Yeonu starts doing his own investigations, that his friends actually helped him without him realizing that they'd been helped him. And that was kind of another reveal that Yeonu, in this entire thing at the beginning, like, he feels like he's alone. Yeah. Because he's suspicious of everything. He's like, there's no way that he just upped and left without telling. Like, there's no way. I know him. Yeah, he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that. And mind you, then come for all communication thereafter. Exactly. Mind you, he was also like an idol trainee. He had like his whole like dream thing. So he was like, there's no flipping way. You just like up and leave. I know this man. Like, he just wouldn't do that. It's so out of character. So he's doing his whole investigation by himself, suspicious. I think he comes across a notebook or something, and that kind of kicks off this entire adventure. Yeah. A few highlights that I want to make. No talk? No, what? A few highlights that I want to make. Talk? Yeah. You didn't finish your sentence. I was gonna say it now. You said a few highlights that I wanna, and I just said no talk. Oh. For you. A few highlights that I wanna make or make note of are the developing or the buddying relationship that's kind of alluded to in relation to Yeonu and Sehyeon, right? I was kind of worried because Yeonu, from the beginning of season 2, he was obsessively trying to find Yuhan, right? Yeah. He was so obsessively, he's like, no, that's his main thing. It's his main thing. He's like, it's my boyfriend. It's my boyfriend. I fucking know my boyfriend. Season 1, he was obsessed with finding his mom. Season 2, it's like, okay, boyfriend. I'm fixed here right now. I'm also trying to find my mom. Yeah. This is my main thing. This is not my main thing. Like, I need to find where my boyfriend is, right? So when he's like trying to find him, I was worried that they were going to make it a thing where, Sehyeon and Yeonu are gonna somehow end up together, but luckily that doesn't happen. Spoiler alert. Because it just wouldn't make sense, because Yeonu this entire time refuses to even read the idea of his relationship being over. Yeah. Right? He's like, there's no fucking way. Yeah, he's still in the whole, like, something happened to him. We are still in a relationship. I'm gonna find out what happened. I'm gonna find out what happened to him. The idea of him leaving me and not telling me and like just being from all this. It doesn't make sense. And because of that, we're not broken up. We're still together. I just need to find him. I just need to find out that in mind. It wouldn't make sense if he finally was catching feelings for this other guy on the side. Because he was like, no, this is my boyfriend. My boyfriend is missing. We need to find my boyfriend. So his entire focus is like, okay, where is my boyfriend? So, I love the fact that they handled that entire aspect of it, and also the fact that Sehyeon himself is kind of put in this position where he's like, okay, I know that I'm not your first option. I know this. And then like, also it shows that Sehyeon himself knows that he has feelings for Yeonu. He's like, he comfortably like accepts the fact that I have feelings for him, but I also 100% am aware about the fact that I'm just not your number one. And that's likely I'm never gonna be. Yeah. And that's fine with me. I just want to be around you, basically, right? So I think you found confident in the fact that they were both monos. So okay, I finally have a mono here that I can host, you know? Mm-hmm. I was like, at the very least, I have someone in my corner that can understand what I'm going through. Yeah. Right? There is more explanation as to what's happening behind the scenes that is shown with this. Basically, at some point, they are able to infiltrate this other facility that's making this drug that helps monos temporarily see color. Yeah. Right? But the problem is the fact that the drug itself, it emulates a color rush, but it's not a permanent color rush, first of all. And second of all, it's not a color rush that is 100% effective. It gives you glimpses of color, but it doesn't necessarily show the full spectrum of color. But the thing is, the drug in itself is dangerous, and the organization itself is fucking shady. So the organization, we don't 100% know where
I don't think it's never fully explained where they get the drug from. But we do know that they're like in a lot of shady shit. There are people who are dying
because the experiments are not actually working. They are claiming that after we give you this thing several times, eventually you will just see color.
Exactly.
It's like after giving you this drug over and over and over again, you'll eventually see color. And then when they no longer see these people that were, so we all monos here, suddenly Becky is not around anymore. They say Becky has achieved like what we would say, she can now see, so she did the facility.
And when it's like now Becky got
died.
healed.
Yeah, she died.
Becky got experimented on.
Yes, because they just did too much. It's like an sensory overload on them because it's also artificial. It's not real. It's not like seeing actual like glimpses. It's like just this overload of just whatever, which fucks with their system, and these people die. But they're not disclosing that to any of the monos because they're running.
They would run away.
Yeah, they would run away. There were talks of season 3 once again because they left us on a cliffhanger for one.
Yeah.
And this is not the kind of drama that can be fleshed out in 8 episodes that are 15 minutes long. It's supposed to be, out of all of these, a full 16-hour-long K-drama.
It's supposed to be a full-length K-drama.
Yes, a normal one. Because
even with 2 seasons, my God, we barely touched around.
There's so much. What happened to Johan? What's going on with Johan's mom? Because she's involved with this whole thing.
Because the whole thing with his, what happened to Yonu's mom in particular, right? Yonu's mom. It kind of is alluded to that Yonu at this point is kind of able to let her go because they find confirmation that she probably did. Yeah. Like, there's no coming back. Because I think they found her, like, her head bent in the river. Yeah. So, for them, it's like, kind of solidified. There's no coming back. She's gone. We can't really do anything, right? But, Yuhan's mom, shady as shit. Yeah. Right? She's fucking shady. Yuhan as well, by the end, he's like, he's bandaged up, he's being drugged up basically, and then like, even if we take you back right now, he wouldn't even recognize you anymore. So he's like being held against his will somewhere. And it's like, there's just so much. There's so much.
It's not a cliffhanger to show that like we need another season so we can explore this.
Yeah.
So, as it stands,
oh my God. I love a lot of how the story was handled, and of the story in itself, when it was being told, it was told well, but I also don't think that the story itself was truly effective. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't tie up any loose ends.
It doesn't.
It actually leaves
more questions.
More questions than it answers any.
Like,
bro. So it's just like,
the story is gonna forever depend on its like successes. The next season, to help it out until they wrap up this entire thing, and I don't know when that's gonna be.
That's my issue.
So it's gonna be its fault. Its runtime will forever be its fault, and I feel there's like something we can do about that.
Honestly, for this one, I think I liked it a little bit less than I liked season 1, to be entirely honest with you. Because as much as like we handled the storyline between Sekan and Yonu the way that we did, and I really highly appreciated that, this story left me more confused than ever. That's like,
very confused.
I was like, wait, where are we going?
Like, what is this now? Yeah, it's very confusing. Let's put it down. I said, wait, is the original Color Rush? Color Rush is very good.
Very good.
I feel like it needs touch-ups too. It does.
It's not the fact that, like, I'm not disappointed that there is no romance. The romance,
I don't really care about that. I'm more Color Rush. The romance aspect is very basic.
Exactly. Also, I'm not sure if the original Yuhan's gonna come back.
It's possible not.
Because even with the way they ended it, they kind of ended it like that intentionally because of the fact that he might not come back at all because he didn't come back for season 2. So,
I don't think, this season needs touch-ups.
Eddies and Cups popping in for one last time. So hope you enjoyed the episode. If you want to, you can subscribe if you're tuning in on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, you can leave us a 5-star rating if you want to. Or if you're listening in on any other platform, you are welcome to just, keep up with us a little bit. Keep us in your roster a little bit. You can also follow us on our various social media. TikTok is the main one where you can probably catch us. We also have Twitter, but don't really post much. And like I said, we're on multiple podcast streaming sites, I guess. I don't know if streaming is appropriate, but anyway, like Amazon, Spotify. We're not on Apple Music though. And thank you for joining us on our 8th episode. So, bye.